Does Yeshua want to talk to her? Does he have a message for her?
Forgive, 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 forgive yourself, my child.
Welcome, brother.
Hello, you beautiful one.
Love you. Thank you for talking to us today. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Yes. Thank you. Why is it that you're guiding her this life?
Because she needs to forgive herself so that she can forgive those that are attacking her instead of retaliating.
Yes.
And that's what's going to happen to majority, or if not to all, that are awakening. The attacks will come. And the best way to address those is to welcome them with forgiveness.
Yes.
It's a lot to ask, yes. Especially in the 3D. Because you lose yourself so much. But if you are above the 3D, it is one thing. It's something that is easy to give.
Yes.
She needs to know that she's not in the 3D, and the attacks are from the 3D, but she's not from there anymore. She's above that.
Yes.
So she needs to know that she's coming from a higher dimension, that she can embrace those attacks with love, light, and forgiveness.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Brother Jesus. Thank you, Brother Yeshua. That's a beautiful way to put it for those who hold a strong light. You know, as you're explaining of her, sometimes we hold a strong light. We do come under attack from others that, like you mentioned, that have those lower frequencies of hatred, envy, or but viewing things from the higher realm and understanding and forgiving and loving them. Yes, that is beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful advice.
Thank you. You too. You know, there are people who would raise their eyebrows, roll their eyes up high, but it's one of those that come from a lower vibration.
Yes.
And I guess that is something that we all have to acknowledge, because we are not exempted to those kind of attacks, but let us not allow them to stop us from what we do.
Yes.
Especially from what you do.
Thank you. Let us not allow them.
I just want to tell you how brave you are. And I want to thank you and honor you and respect you for what you do. You do not know how much you are enlightening the path to the rest. That is such a brave undertaking. And yet you welcomed it with both arms. So much unselfishness from your end. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, beautiful Yeshua. I love you dearly. Your words mean the world to me. Thank you.
You are so much love. You and your husband, your family. You are so much love.
Thank you.
Continue doing what you do. Continue harvesting and leading the way to those who are called to lead the way.
Thank you, we shall. And it is because we feel your strength as our guides, as our angels, you beautiful, benevolent beings that are there guiding us. It is because of you that we feel the strength to continue on. So thank you. It just means the world to us that we have your support always.
Thank you for allowing us to connect to you. There's a lot that would want to, but there are very few that are open, that have the open heart, a wide open receiving heart for us to come in. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you have a message? I know you gave her a message, but do you have a message while you're talking, brother, for humanity besides all that you already mentioned? Anything else you would like to talk about?
A lot of people dream and wish and pray and hope for love and happiness and peace. But at the same time, what they fail to see is inside them that they are one, that are actually clouding this want, this prayer of love, peace. They need to accept and look inside them first before they ask for it. You cannot ask and hope and wish for love if you do not have that inside you. How could you hope for happiness when you offend and harm and judge and discriminate others?
Yes.
How could you ask for positive things if in your daily living and in your daily life, what you think as soon as you wake up in the morning is how you could be ahead of others? And it doesn't mean as to how you get there. Sometimes you step on others' toes. Sometimes you cut them in traffic. Sometimes you cheat them, grab them from credits and glory or some attention just to be ahead of them. Look inside you before you ask. Before you ask, see if you have inside you, see if you have given that. For example, love. If you want love, have you loved somebody around you lately? Do you know of somebody who needs love? Have you given that love to that person instead of judging that person? Have you approached somebody that you thought that you cannot stand because that person wronged you? Have you approached that person and then asked that, and then just hug that person? For example, if you want peace, what have you done lately to achieve that peace? Have you stopped bad-mouthing your colleagues at work, or your classmates, or your neighbors? It's, for example, forgiveness. Look inside you first before you ask. See if you have it inside you that you know that you can give it to somebody. And then come back, look inside your heart, and then say, you know what? I have hugged that person who I can't stand, and I feel good about it. Once you have that confirmation, then ask, I need more love. I need more love to give.
Yes.
I need more love so I can give more love. It starts from you. You want good things? Do good things.
Yes.
You want happiness? Make somebody happy. Then come back and ask for more so you can give more.
Yes. Beautiful words. Thank you.
It doesn't stop from you. What you want doesn't stop from you. You want because you want to give more. The only time that you are given what you ask for is only if you have already given that to others. Just like what you do. You have this knowledge and wisdom, and we come to you and connect to you to give advice and confirmations.
Yes.
And then you give that out to others and teach and train others so that that can cycle and then just it can ripple. The ripple effect.
Yes.
And then you come back and then you need advice some more, ask for more teaching that you can share to others. And there goes the ripple again. That's what should everybody do. It doesn't stay for you all by yourself.
Yes.
It starts from you and then start making the ripples.
Yes. Thank you. That means so much to me because I recently started teaching classes. So, and also when I do my readings, I help people find what's within them, and then I help them embrace who they are, and I encourage them to love themselves fully and to believe in themselves and to love oneself. And often we see, as you mentioned, perhaps if they go to a healer, the healer won't fully want for them to fully embrace their gifts, or won't fully want them, say they're a channel, they won't fully want them to become a channel because then they have competition. Or yes, or say they have information, like the healer will have information, but they don't want to openly share it. Like they want, in a sense, they kind of want money. Okay, I will share it. So you know, it's hard for me to see this. But then as a catalyst, it's hard for me to point this out as well, because I honor everyone's roles. But thank you for, you know, this really relates and helps me embrace what I'm doing daily, because I want to teach others as well, as a leader, as a spiritual leader, as a catalyst, to perhaps stop those cycles and those ways that we've been taught since the beginning, you know, since this planet started becoming controlled by, you know, negative forces or the ego. So I want to help others grow and help them realize that we're here to support each other, and for us to stop judging one another, that it is okay for us to read one another. But then, okay, so if you see a person like this and that has this, then how can you help them, and how can you embrace them and send them love? You know, how can you help them evolve from it and ascend from it, and you know, metamorphose from it? So thank you. Sorry, I just started talking there.
It's good. I feel your heart. I just want you to know what you have given to your students, or what of the people that you have trained. That's theirs. You cannot take that back. That's a gift that was given to you, and you gave it away.
Yes.
And if, example, the recipient of that training use it in a negative way, that is nothing against you. That is at their own. That is something that they need to make peace with. I do not want you to think, just because you've trained somebody and that somebody goes against you, and there is this competition, and then I do not want you to. And then she comes in her training, or in her, if you call it business, that she's practicing, and that she comes into a dead end, or she's not getting any answers, or she's kind of limited to the answers that she wants. I want you to think that that's not because of you. It's not because you trained her in a wrong way, or them in a wrong way. No, it only means that that person still has some issues that she needs to make peace with.
Yes.
Those things, those blockages, those dead ends are there to teach that person that there's some clearing needed. All that they have to do is go inside again and be receptive and open to what is limiting them. That is not because of you. They brought that to themselves.
Yes.
So please do not be disheartened when you hear things like that. That is just another attacks. And because the more that you shine, the more that you advance, the more that you are ahead and spearheading and leading this army of people awakening, the more that you're going to be attacked. But fear not, because all of us are protecting you, and there's enough love and light that is around you. That is your students, or the people that you shared with, that is their own. And just like you said, it's all about the money and the business. But if that is what they came to you for training, just to make money, then they have a lot of things to learn.
Yes.
And then there's no way for you to know if they really came to join your training because they want awakening. There are those that would pretend that they are awake just because they just want to know what you know, and they'll turn that into business.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you share that to them, then now you are a business competitor. But that is not for you. That is not your fault. That is their own making.
Yes.
And there will be some. It's not the end yet. There will be some that will still do that. It is just the selfishness of the 3D.
Yes. Yeshua, you have no idea how much these words mean to me. You're bringing them to me. It's been a concern for me as I teach from the heart. And I want people to, it took me a while to say, okay, I'm going to teach these classes. And that was one of the biggest concerns. Like, I wanted to even make a book of alchemy, but then I was concerned, what if these people take this alchemy and then they turn it into something of harming someone? So then I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. So then I'm going to do classes and be very careful and, and just, but you saying that, like, whoever's going to come, I understand that whoever's going to come is going to come, and not, like, I was concerned, like, I don't want to be teaching this and then someone goes and harms someone. And I didn't want to feel responsible for that, because I'm here to protect, and to work with the heart, and we harm none. So thank you. It's like you were in my heart as usual. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I cannot tell you enough how much your words mean to me, and it's such a relief for me to be able to teach these classes and teach what I'm going to teach without having to worry about, what you mentioned. So thank you.
Just as much as you have said, that let love and light be, let love and light shine bright and open opportunities.
Yes.
And that it has to, and at the same time be invincible to danger.
Yes.
When you are doing these classes,
yes,
let that be mentioned.
yes,
That when you are conducting these classes, give that love and light not just to the students, but to the students or the recipient or the customers of that student once they graduate from it.
yes,
Extend that love and light to whoever would be the recipient of the students that you are training.
yes,
And whatever happens to if the student turns it into a negative way, then that is not from you. Keep extending that love and light to the customers or the beneficiary of the readings from your students.
yes,
And if there's any blockages, then that's going to be to that person that is not welcoming yet, or who has some negative energies that's still lurking there that has not been cleared totally. And that is not from you. You have a very big following. Others may want to limit you, but no, your light is shining bright. You have nothing to fear.
How many times are you going to make me cry? What a wonderful surprise, my beautiful son. I love you.
I love you. And I am always amazed and always in awe in everything that you do and will do. You make us very proud.
Thank you. As you know, it's hard for me as a phoenix. I sometimes feel so much energy, and it gets overwhelming for me. And sometimes I feel those, psychic attacks. So it's your messages have come to me right in the right moment. So thank you. We are ready for our next cycle of evolving. So thank you, my beautiful son. I love
I think Melissa came
you.
here a lot of things in her head to ask, but last minute she just said, I'm just gonna let them take over. And I think she came here partly for herself, but more for you. Because you need to be recharged as much as Melissa needs to be recharged.
Thank you. Yes, I teach, my aura practitioners. We are not just helping facilitate, heal others. They are also helping us heal. It's a give and take.
It is a group that we need recharging.
Yes.
Each of us needs to exchange that love and light. We cannot even if you are a teacher, you need to be a student and be a recipient. If you're a
Yes.
giver, you need to be a recipient of that too. It's a give and take. It's a two-way, and that is the only way that we can expand this positivity, this beautiful love and light.
Yes.
Is for us to recharge and enlighten and energize each other and acknowledge and confirm each other. That's the only way.
Yes.
And I think Melissa would be interested to join your class too.
Oh, I would love to have her. I would love
She
it.
doubts herself that she has questions like, do you have to be born with this? How will I understand? All these questions, human as she is.
I think she'd be wonderful. Look how.
You will be a good fit for her.
Oh, good. She will be a beautiful fit for us. Working within the heart. She has such a beautiful heart, and it would be an honor for her to join. So yes, I would love that. Wonderful. And look at how phenomenal she's doing right now with allowing for you to talk through her. Not anyone can do this. So that is something that she needs to embrace herself and love herself for being able to do today. I thank her.
You make me smile all the time.
And beautiful Yeshua, these are what you spoke of today has a lot to do also with what you taught when you were here, as a catalyst, awakening others and teaching others to go within their hearts, to not believe that they were limited. So thank you for sharing those teachings with us. And can I ask you a couple questions to see what you feel like right now, how we are? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This is the way that you taught. So thank you.
You're
welcome. So what is it how do you feel right now as far as religion? What do you think of religion and the way that it's been led after you taught, and how kind of Christianity has been, turned into, as well as the Bible that you helped start?
It's like the government.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it starts with good ideas, good inspirations, something of the positive, something to keep people together, to unite as one, so that they can coexist in unity, in love, and help each other. But then along the way, the greediness comes in, the jealousy comes in, some wants to steal the spotlight. So for example, with religion, it started as a spiritual, for us to be connected more through the heart. A lot of us do not see physically the heart. We feel it. But then there are those that have the gift of talking to the point that they, what's the word? That they corrupted the goodness of the heart. They corrupted that with their mind to the point that there was division, limitations. That is complete control.
Yes.
A way for the religion to control their congregation as to what they can do and cannot do. Take, for example, the 10% of their income. And there is in that Bible that says, this is what the religion needs, 10%. It was just a metaphor that was used. You give what you can give. It's not just the 10%. Other people are stuck to the 10%, literally. But it's not. What it actually means is give out of the goodness of your heart. And of course, in this 3D, you cannot give your heart 100%. But if you can give 10% of that heart to somebody who needs something, like a loaf of bread, is that too difficult to ask? Maybe instead of feasting with a entire package of a bread, if you see somebody on the road starving, maybe you can open that bag and offer some to that person who's hungry.
Yes.
Why feast if you know that somebody is hungry? Give. And that's what all it meant. But for some reason, some religions, they said, no, that belongs to God. God doesn't want that. God doesn't need a 10%. He wants your heart so that you can share that heart, that love from the heart. That's what he needs. And that's what he wants you to do. It's all about control. It's how they can get something out of you. And that's what made it all ugly. To this day, some people are still blinded by that because they have already been brainwashed.
Yes.
And all we can do is pray and ask that they can see the light, that they can see the reason behind it. Melissa got that. She was actually called like a radical or the black sheep as they call them. But she was actually awakened, but she was not strong enough to come out and question it. She just moved on. It is just control, and it's really the religion side of things has actually come to its, it has come to realize its own mistake in some ways. Take for example the priests that were harming the youth. Take for example those preachers that are asking for a jetliner for themselves to spread the word.
Mm-hmm.
People are already starting to raise their eyebrows, questioning it.
Yes.
All that we can do is collectively send them our love for better understanding and for them to awaken some more.
Yes.
Religion is nothing but restriction and limitation.
Mm-hmm.
It, it and love is not that. If God is love, and that is true. So if God is love, why are you limiting them?
Mm-hmm.
So they are not practicing what it should be. They should be sent out. They should evolve.
Mm-hmm.
But religion wants them to be limited and restricted.
Is
They
it
cannot
part?
let they cannot let them go out free, because then they don't have any control
Mm-hmm.
and they have nothing left for them. It's sad that it turned out to be this. And for
Yes.
example, the Station of the Cross,
Mm-hmm.
that is just advertisements that you see on TV. Again, it's control.
Mm-hmm.
As Melissa always said, God is love. And if your God, regardless of what religion you believe, or whether you have a religion or not, if your belief is not based on love, then I don't want to be your friend.
Yes.
It's all about love.
Were
And
these?
Muslims, I do not say nothing bad against them, but there
Mm-hmm.
are those radicals that they kill other people.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I do not understand.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of propaganda is that? That's not love.
Mm-hmm. So the Bible that is being taught now, was that changed?
A lot of times
Mm-hmm.
that has been changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you call, there's this movie about Lost in Translation.
Mm-hmm.
It's now isms. It started as a beautiful thing,
Mm-hmm.
and when it was passed down to the next generation and next generation, something was taken out,
Mm-hmm.
something was added on to whatever that person who was doing, or not the person who was doing it, but whoever is whoever is commanding. For example,
Mm-hmm.
back in the Roman times, where there is Julius Caesar, right?
Yes.
And then he was the commander.
Mm-hmm.
So he will assign somebody to transcribe something,
Yes.
putting him to inject him, Julius Caesar, in whatever is being written. So there is always this manipulation of the truth. It started as a beautiful thing, but then other people injected their own greed
Mm-hmm.
and their own ego into that, and that's when it all separated from the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Um, I have memories, of this time, and actually, right when you were going to start talking about the Romans, I was just thinking of those times, and So where the Romans, could you say that they were Cabal? Were they Cabal trying to target you and stop you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And people don't realize this, in those times. That's what was going on. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
Mm-hmm.
They would stop anything that is good, anything that is out of love, anything that is light.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted it to stop.
Yes.
They would go and slaughter people to stop it.
Oh, yes. So sad.
And that is just pure selfishness on their part. That's absolute control.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted people to fear them. And it was out of fear that they were able to control the people.
Yes. So perhaps can you clarify some things that we've been taught here in this time? I think it would be great. It would be great honor for us to be able to do that. If it's okay with Melissa to continue asking the questions of the Bible.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. She's doing such a beautiful service today. So what about when they talk about specifically like male on male, female on male partnership, and how they say that's horrible or a sin? What are your views on that?
It's not. It is just again the. It is again the old thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That was the mentality before. That was passed down from generation to generations.
Mm-hmm.
And just as much as they use Adam and Eve in the Bible
Yes.
as an example that male, female,
Mm-hmm.
but what they do not realize is that there is a male part that exists in the female. And
Mm-hmm.
so there is a female part that exists in a male.
Yes.
It is, I think, people are not open. Some people are already open to this, but there's still a majority that are not open to it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, with this LGBT, my question is this:
Mm-hmm.
would it harm? For example, if you eat a fish, you go fish,
Mm-hmm.
you take it home, you clean it up, and then, of course, the first thing that you do is that you clean out the guts, right, out of the fish.
Yes.
And for example, of course, there's a way that you know if a fish is a female or a male. If there's an egg, it's a female. If it's not, then it's male. My question is, if that fish has not ovulated or doesn't have any eggs in it, and you cook it, how do you think? Do you think it matters to you to eat that fish if that fish is a he or a she?
Mm-hmm.
It
Yes.
doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to eat that fish
Yes.
and then enjoy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why is it so difficult to accept whether a male in a male body is a female and in a female body is a male?
Mm-hmm.
We have that inside us. Why is it so difficult to accept? So my next scenario is this: we women are known to And I don't know if you just noticed that. It's yes was speaking, but I did say we women.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So my question is, does it, women are known to talk more, speak more,
Yes.
and they are very emotional. They cry a lot more than men.
Mm.
So if a man cries, does that make them a lesser man?
Mm.
And I don't know if you notice nowadays, but then a lot of men, if you turn on your TV, a lot of men talk a lot more than women. Does that make them a female? No.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always that aspect in us. Even it's already manifesting physically, we still do not want to accept it. Why?
Yes.
Because of that, what's the word? It's when you control the brainwash.
Yes.
It's because of that brainwash that was instilled in us from way back then, and that needs to be cleared.
Yes.
Melissa always say at work, she comes across this man and they talk.
Mm-hmm.
They even gossip. And Melissa would say, "This is very cultural. This is a cultural difficulty for me because where I come from, men do not talk much. Why do you even gossip? That's what women do, not men. Why are you doing it?"
Mm-hmm.
She will make fun of that situation to make a point.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Very
I
good.
don't know if that any sense to that. That's Melissa humor.
Yes. I understand. And then also, there are certain things that, that, like, for example, how they said, how about Lucifer? About Lucifer. Is that truth how he's the devil?
No, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
It is just another labeling by the brainwash.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when they say the black sheep,
Mm-hmm.
Lucifer is the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
the bad one. It is just the mentality of old age,
Mm-hmm.
labeling people.
Did the Cabal change that in the Bible to make him?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
And then they also, I was wondering if you can tell me this. There are basically, there's like people who are spiritual leaders, who are whistleblowers, and this kind of people who believe that Lucifer is still bad. And then they, the Cabal, was it the Cabal that named like those blood rituals? They named them Luciferian. So does that actually have a connection with Lucifer himself, or the Cabal?
It's just the Cabal.
It's the Cabal. Mm-hmm.
Way back then, it's all about ritual. And that is how you would be a part of an organization.
Yes.
So, just like in baptism, you cannot be a part of a congregation if you're not baptized, right?
Mm-hmm.
So way back then, in the Cabal, there's all this ritual that you have to observe to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they market what they were trying to sell to the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just marketing strategy, if I may say so.
Yes, yes, that's a good example. Is that why they use his name to? Are they trying to get people to not connect with him?
Mm-hmm.
And because is he? What does he do for humanity?
To see this other side of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you see angels as good. You see
Mm-hmm.
angels as good ones, right? They have a halo around their head, right?
A halo.
Those are the good halo around their head, angels.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, so this is how they brainwashed the people. If you see an angel with a halo around their head, and then they have wings that are shiny white, then they're the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you see a nasty looking creature, you know, like the form of a bat,
Mm-hmm.
even the bat has been connotated or related to something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how they brainwash people.
Yes.
So if the wings, like if you see something that has the wing that is dark,
Mm-hmm.
then that means that one is evil,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
But that is, again, that is just how they manipulate the minds of the people. The
Mm-hmm.
bottom line is that we are all good.
Yes.
It's only the bad. The bad is coming from those who are trying to sell us this product.
Yes.
And if we are not enlightened and if we are not careful, if we don't ask questions or challenge what they're trying to sell us, then we are nothing but part of them. We would be eager members of that. And there's still things going on in this earth.
Yes.
There's still a lot of brainwashing going on.
Yes. And I bring this to light because when I tap into this energy where there's actual people who are light workers who even have a lot of connections there. They're saying that Lucifer is a fallen angel, he's the devil. They're thinking this, and then they're connecting him with being part of the Cabal. So that's why I wanted you to clarify that, because there is so much fear created, and again, it's part of the whole system that you have mentioned as well, that they want to create all this fear against angels and Lucifer, who is here to help others see, like you said, see the other side of them, see the reflection of themselves. And if I can ask you, is he the light bringer?
Can you repeat that, please?
Is Lucifer the light bringer?
The light bringer?
Yes.
Okay. So he brings light to what is the other side of you, if that's what you mean. Yes.
Yes.
So, for example, remember that in the Bible wherein I went to the temple and then I saw some vendors, people selling stuff by the temple.
Yes.
Remember that part of the Bible?
Yes.
And then I went there and I was I was praying. I was having my own moment, and I just wanted to be with myself. And then I walk out and I see all these vendors, these merchants selling their things, and using that temple as a place to sell their goods.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that I went there and like kick them out or destroy it, you know, scattered their merchandise all over the place. And I told them that they are just not, they are disrespecting the house of my father.
Mm-hmm.
Did that make me the Lucifer because I was mad?
Mm-mm.
So way back then, it's about, anything that is negative, they see it as bad and they brand it as evil.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know the Romans, did not like that. Oh, if he is really the Son of God, look at the temper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they started to give meanings to my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
All that I wanted was for people to go there as a place of refuge, respect, and peace.
Yes.
And yet, they come and bring their selfishness at the door
Mm-hmm.
of worship. For me, that is disrespect.
Yes.
And if I am against disrespect, does that make me a follower of Lucifer?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not. And Lucifer is a good person. The Cabal just makes him bad because they want to connect that name
Mm-hmm.
to the badness of their organization.
Yes.
In all of us, there is something not good, not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Lucifer brings that light. He actually brings that up so that we know his job, his duty, his obligation, his mission
Mm-hmm.
is for us to acknowledge and correct that negative part of us,
Mm-hmm.
the not so loving part of us.
Yes.
That's his mission, and he does a good job
Mm-hmm.
in doing it. But people are quick enough to judge that.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do not realize is that they're judging themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They're not judging Lucifer. He's just doing his job.
Yes. And that is a hard role to play.
Very hard.
Mm-hmm.
I have never, oh, um, met somebody who was so open and welcoming to accept that kind of mission and responsibility, knowing that people are going to see you as the bad one.
Mm-hmm.
He welcomed it without question.
And that is just how beautiful and kind and loving he is for all.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs more appreciation
Yes.
and acknowledgement than what the others are labeling him.
Yes. Well, may this
But
message. Yes.
in all of us,
Mm-hmm.
we have the angel and we have the Lucifer. But
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that people would recognize that Lucifer is not bad. It's just there. Lucifer or the other side of us is just there to remind us that we need to accept that We need to bring that out in the surface, accept it, correct it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your explanation, Yeshua, is beautiful for our brother Lucifer. Thank you for doing that for him and overall for humanity, so that they will no longer allow for themselves to be brainwashed and exist within this frequency of fear when they hear his name, or they because when they judge him, they're judging themselves, like you said, and there's nothing to judge. He's holding space in love for everyone and light for them. So thank you for clarifying that, because that's one of the biggest misconceptions in the Bible. So thank you.
I have something else to say to add to that.
Oh, yes, please.
So, not because Lucifer brings out the other side of us, a majority of the time that other side of us is not good, right? Lying, cheating, stealing, things like that. It does not mean that you have to do it or continue doing it. So, if you're a thief, and then Lucifer comes out and then say, "Hey thief, I'm just here to remind you that here you go again, doing on your business." And that is Lucifer's just way of saying, telling that human being that, hey, I know you and I just want you to acknowledge me that what you're doing is not right. Correct me. Turn the other way. Don't do it. But when I say that it's just for them to acknowledge, it doesn't mean that they need to acknowledge and continue doing it. Acknowledge it and correct it. Stop it and correct it. It does not mean that they have to continue doing their negative ways.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And then from that, when they evolve from that, when he teaches them that, and they evolve from that, then they're evolving into the light. So thank you.
Yes.
Beautiful. What a beautiful way to explain. I'm going to ask a couple more questions because I do want to get her healing done.
Okay.
She did have a few things that she wanted to look at. No, there are two more questions I have for you, and then from there I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the body scan. Now, can you tell us why is it that they said they changed that? For example, what was the purpose to that of saying that Mother Mary was a virgin? Is that true?
No.
Why did they do that?
It is just again, the story that they want to sell to the people.
Yes. And is it another way where they make people feel guilt over, for example, having sex or maintaining a virgin? Is that another way to control that?
Well, if the story is not gonna sell, if, for example, if Jesus was born out of wedlock, way back then, there is no such thing. They are trying to sell this religion, this belief that everything is pure. And had they not changed that story, and because they want you to believe that God is out of pure light, and He is, but then at the same time they were trying to control your faith. And by doing so, they need to sell you a story that is something supernatural, that it does not require any investigation. And all that they can base that for is that they always say, your faith, your faith, your faith. But that's the only way that they could, again, manipulate the story.
Yes, thank you. Did Mother Mary have you with her husband?
Joseph? I say yes.
Yes. That's what I was feeling as well. Thank you. Now, one more question. Now, Mary Magdalene, we know what they did with her on the Bible. They made her into...
Look bad, yes.
Yes, like she was a hooker or something like that, unfortunately. So what are your thoughts on that?
She's a lovely woman. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul. And again, they just like what, just like what they want to sell. Somebody has to be good. That was me. And somebody has to be bad. And that was her. But it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul.
Yes.
And I actually in awe of her for carrying that label. And people were just so mean to her.
Yes.
She's one brave soul.
Yes.
If you try to imagine how it was way back then and endure what she experienced, what she went through, that is one very heavy, heavy burden to carry.
Yes. It is.
And just like any other good soul, they will go through the process, endure it, and majority of the time, if you believe what they are accusing you of, it makes you crawl under your skin. But if you know who you really are, then that gives you the courage to raise your head above the water, and that's what she did.
Yes.
I couldn't think of anybody else that would have done that and endure that kind of judgment.
Yes.
Just as much as they want the disciples as the good ones, the good guys. They did not want her to be part of the good ones, but she definitely feels right in as the disciples.
So she was one of the disciples?
In my heart, she is. But the authority at the time did not want her to be. Because that during that time, men are superior to women.
Yes.
A female cannot be part of it. They hardly mention my mother.
Yeah. Yeah. They made your mother look like she was just like this helpless being.
Yes. But all that she can do is cry.
Mm-hmm. And both you and I know that she was not like that.
No. But that's what the story that they were selling.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Melissa always say, I like the stories of the Old Testament. They're more real.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And what was your relationship with Mary Magdalene?
My wife?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you for confirming that. Beautiful. And as far as Mary, Mother Mary, they made her seem to this helpless mother that could not help her son. How was she really?
She has the heart. I do not know as to how much you can crush a heart. How do you think can a mother endure being present while the son is being tortured? If she is not one brave soul, I do not know what you call it. But she has this heart. Her heart was crushed multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason that they always portray her as the helpless woman, because they made her.
Mm-hmm.
They took her son and tortured her son.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect a mother's heart would feel?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a heart that was so brave than hers.
Yes.
Pure and full of love. I do not know if you could ever match the heart that she has.
Thank you.
She could have just said, "Spare my son and take me." But she knew that the authorities wanted her son. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean anything. And of all of the torture, they still made her look small and inferior.
Mm-hmm. As far as how you evolved spiritually, how was Mother Mary part of this evolving for you?
I would say to have an enduring heart.
Mm-hmm.
A heart that endures whatever comes. It's not easy. Most of the time it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But her love, her endurance will shine through.
Yes. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any last message, Yeshua, before we do her body scan?
The times before, during my times here, and what you currently are experiencing now is nothing different.
Is not what? I'm sorry.
It's nothing different.
Mm-hmm.
People will sell stories.
Mm.
People will try to make you believe
Mm-hmm.
the stories that they're selling you or telling you are real.
Mm-hmm.
Always go inside you.
Yes.
And ask for clarification, ask for confirmation before you even open your mouth or act on anything. Do not allow yourself to be recruited or to be part of the negativity that is widespread.
Yes.
If you want to be on the other side of things, and I mean the negative side of things, you do not have to do anything. It's just innate in you. But if you want to rise above that, if you want to be the good guy,
Mm-hmm.
it takes an effort, a lot of effort to be good. You want to be different? Then make an effort to be different.
Yes.
It takes a lot of courage, endurance, and a lot of swallowing of your ego to be good. And if you want to be negative, just go by your daily life and you don't have to waste your energy or your effort in doing so.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you today. Since you are a powerful healer, is it okay if you do our body scan and make sure that she's all healed before we finish up?
I would love to.